That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
Be articulate and intelligent.
Gregg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that one.
Ooh, terrible! Bad! Not bad! Oh, pretty good. Okay. Decent. Fair. Great. I loved it.
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
Even flow. Welcome to the straight red card. I gotta start with an even flow on occasion.
You just gave somebody a square in bingo today.
A squirt?
Square.
A square. Okay.
Where's your mind at?
Squirt would work too. Hey, did you notice that Pearl Jam canceled last night? They canceled their concert because Eddie Vedder pulled a left testicle right before the concert. Yeah, he can't go moving around with a pulled left testicle. That shit's painful.
He can't hit those notes like he used to either.
Yeah, I think he can he?
He's blown the shit out of his vocals. They still sounds good, don't get me wrong, and I still enjoy it. I wouldn't pay the ridiculous sums that they were trying to fork over for that
I
shit.
agree.
But he definitely doesn't hit the vocals that he used to back in 10.
Really? I can hit most of his vocals, but he always had a lower voice than me.
He used to do a lot of the growls, a lot of the grit, and like really going into it. It really, eventually it takes a toll on your vocal cords.
He doesn't really hit a lot of high notes. Like Jeremy's spoken.
It's all the growling. It's all the growling in the back of your throat that he does.
Well, he kind of does that on purpose. That's his fault,
I know,
right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It takes a toll.
He wants to sound like Kurt Cobain or something. Everybody wanted to sound like Kurt Cobain. Everybody started to growl.
I guess Nirvana was what, late 80s when they first came out?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because remember they had that first album that didn't really count. It was sort of that they put out that had the song "I'm a negative creep when I'm stoned." Remember that one?
Did they re-release that by chance?
They might have. I'm a negative creep while I'm stoned.
No. Once Nirvana became big, they should have re-released their first album. They're like in a garage, band type of album art and stuff like that, and just sold it.
Yeah,
they would have made a shit ton of money.
I'm sure they did. A lot of people went back and bought it, but I will tell you this: my ex-girlfriend Heather bought it, and it was my first exposure to Nirvana. And then when the big one came out, I'm like, wow, this is a lot better than that one with like 2 good songs on it, or maybe 3. It wasn't much. I think there were 8 songs on it total, maybe 7. And there were like 2. I love negative. I'm a negative creep when I'm stoned, because that doesn't describe me at all. Most people are not negative when they get stoned, like me right now. And so I tried to do this tonight to benefit Gregg, right? So I'm not overly critical of Gregg.
Much to the discretion, or much to the hatred of our audience who wants to see you blow up on Gregg.
It could happen anyhow. It's true. It really could. It probably won't, because I rewatched the game again today, right before the show.
Real quickly, before we do anything else, cover your screen, Derek. I'm going to go ahead and get the bingo up and running. Because, like I said, you're already singing, even flow. Those are probably 2 different ones.
Even flow. Player. What is this called? Bingo, right?
Bingo, Bingo.
Play a bingo like butterfly.
Old man music talk. I think that covers that. We talked about 80 music.
This whole old man thing's getting old. I'm not that old. God damn it.
Well, given the fact that our listening population is predominantly 18 to like 32-year-olds, yeah, you're kind of old. I'm kind of old in comparison too. So.
Yeah, but I'm not a boomer. My parents are boomers.
Yeah, we just use the Urban Dictionary version of boomers to talk about you in that sense.
I could spin circles around them in technology. Come on.
Your parents? Yes, I agree.
Yes, my parents.
All right, Derek, you're good.
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your aunt. Check out these digs. All right, check them out down there. Not down here where my crotch is. Over down there where the description of the show is.
Are you rocking the Straight Red Card boxers?
I am. You know there aren't any straight red card
They'd
boxes.
be a circle in your face like right here, my face right here. And then that's where the slit is, so you can whip it out when you need to.
Also, now newly featuring in our merch section is the straight red card cock rings. So go check those out. Cock rings. I hear they're the best. I haven't got a copy or any of them to try yet. So we'll work on that.
It's got to be flying solo, Derek. That's got to be not so great for you then.
I don't know what I'm going to do with cock rings. Not at all. I don't need.
It's all for gas in the end. It's kind of the opposite effect of what you want being solo.
No, I mean, you're solo. You just want to get it done and enjoy it as quickly and as immensely as possible. And it's always great because you're always alone. That's the best thing of having a family for fucking 18 years, and then you're free as a bird, right? You're divorced, no one's around, you can jerk it in complete confidence, and it's awesome. All right, make sure you use Vaseline. Remember, KY doesn't sponsor the show anymore. Let's read the turd. By the way, you notice that in all the interviews with Gregg now, Michael Kammerman is completely eradicated. We no longer hear Gregg Berhalter is the first coach from the United States to ever come back from being almost fired to being rehired to beat an Asian team 3-0 at home. What amazing man he is. And so here we go. If you have any questions, here is Gregg Berhalter.
Gregg Berhalter is the only U.S. manager to score 2 goals in the 90th plus minute to win 3-0.
3-0 after what was... Listen, after
a goal in the 4th minute, 90 minutes later, we get 2 more goals.
Yeah. Luca De La Torre, once he left, that spelled kind of somewhat of doom to us. But we'll get into that. The turd in the background says, welcome back to the straight red card. Gregg returns in style with a dominant win against whoever that was. 3-0 victory. We looked great. All hail the 4-3-3.
It's like a dominant victory against Canada. I mean, Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Uzbekistan. I went back and checked Gregg's record, by the way. And when he was with Columbus, he played a shitload of 4-2-3-1. Just a fucking shitload. He would play Higuain right behind Zardes, right? And then as his 2 holding mids, it'd be Artur and Ricardo Clark. And then later Trapp and Artur or Ricardo Clark. But it was always 2 guys holding the back. Anyhow, it's just frustrating to see a guy who, I mean, technically in many ways played when Luca De La Torre was there. It was a functioning 4-1-4-1 because Luca De La Torre would go back and get the ball. The other 2 midfielders would sprint up the field for the most part, sometimes coming back to help. But anyhow.
Well, and Luca De La Torre would go back and get the ball and then sprint it up about 20 yards before getting rid of the ball. And basically weave his way between 2 or 3 players before getting rid of it. So,
yeah, it was night and day.
That definitely hurt.
Yeah, night and day after he left, for sure.
Just shift it back into place, shove some cotton up there, and get your ass back out there.
Yeah, wear one of those masks they wear in basketball. I don't understand it. Anyhow, the beer of the night is a prankster. It is by North Coast Brewing Company. I've had one of these on the show before. It's brewed in Fort Bragg, California, wherever the fuck that is. I still don't know where the fuck that is. There's another Fort Bragg, and it's an army base. I know where that is, but
I just assumed.
No, it's not the same place. This is another Fort Bragg. I doubt there's an actual fort there anymore.
What you're trying to tell me is when you drive up 31 going to Michigan and you see a sign that says Mexico 2 miles that way, it's not actually Mexico?
That's correct. It's a city called Mexico. They pronounce it Mexico. At least they do now.
At some point, I'd love to drive through there just to see what Mexico's like.
Well, what happened, it used to be pronounced Mexico, but a lot of the immigrants coming in got confused and moved there. It's pretty much 90% immigrants now. So they've changed the name to Mexico. It's no longer Mexico, Indiana.
A lot of inappropriate jokes to be made there, but I'm going to pass.
No, there's nothing inappropriate about that. There have been a lot of immigrants coming to Indiana, by the way. You know that.
No, I know that. Never mind.
And it's okay with
not
me.
worth hashing. I know it is. But
All right.
not okay with the YouTube algorithm and the Susan's no longer working there, but all right, whatever.
Susan? Who's Susan?
She used to run YouTube.
Oh, is that chick you were banging on the side for a while?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
How else do you think you almost got to 3,000 subs in 2 years?
All right,
What the hell was I doing there?
7.6 volume ABV. So we'll see how it goes. I can't remember what it tastes like. It's a golden ale. A golden ale, like a golden shower.
You beat me to it.
Look at the color. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is a little darker than your pea should probably look.
It's tasty.
Is that what you think? All right. It's probably tasty.
Is it necessary that I drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste.
I'm having a hard time not laughing. Hold on.
Well,
before I drink this. This is distinctly potable. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. I would drink this. Not every night. It isn't a Belgian because it's an American-Belgian copy, but quite good. Distinctly potable. Toast. Brett procreates. Yes, so have I. It's not that hard to do. You just kind of a human thing. Animals do it too, dude. How do you think there's so many bunny rabbits?
Yeah.
All right.
They need to feed all the predators.
Yes. All right. What? Nobody eats rabbit anymore. Do you notice that?
Sure they do.
But if you go back, no, they don't. Because if you go back to the 50s and you look at restaurants in like Bloomington and whatever, rabbit was on like almost every major cafe and restaurant's menu.
I've still seen places around here that have rabbit.
I don't. Where?
I don't know. I haven't bought the shit.
Yeah, you drove through it.
I'm looking at the menu going, rabbit. I've got to remember this place.
Fricassee. Yeah, I don't think it's normal. I don't think you're going to find a lot of rabbit.
It's not normal. It's not on everybody's menu. You can't go to the local Applebee's and get a haunch of rabbit or whatever. But
can't go to Wendy's and get a rabbit burger. You're right.
Well,
but it was very common after the Great Depression when people started eating shit they weren't eating before. Right? Rabbit tastes like chicken. It's a little greasier than chicken. It is a little greasier.
So
to me,
it's funny. It's funny because they talk about the single aspect. They talk about this actually in the Matrix about living in a simulation. Is how many things taste like chicken?
Yeah, people say that, but there is a difference. I think rabbits is a little bit gamey and a little greasier. I didn't think it was. I definitely knew it was not chicken, but it has the same sort of texture as chicken.
So when I had gator tail.
I did not like gator at all.
Gator tail reminded me a lot of pork and chicken comboed.
That was even greasier or somewhat just gross. I just had a bad piece, maybe.
Yeah.
It happens. By the way, I did the deconstructed Italian sub challenge. So I watched the food dude. Who's the food guy? The nerdy guy with the glasses. Anyhow, he did a deconstructed sub where he chops all the meats up from the sub and the lettuce and the onions and the tomatoes. And instead of, having all the layers of meat and then, the tomatoes on top and then the lettuce and the onion, it's just a big salad, right? He's chopped it all up. And then he uses the red wine vinegar and the salt, pepper, the oregano, and a little mayo. And you're thinking that looks really good. So I tried it. And I didn't like it, Brett. You want to know why? It tasted similar, but I like the unique textures of biting through a sub and biting through all the layers and how they're sort of an organized event in your mouth. I didn't like the disorganization in my mouth.
Yeah.
That's what she said. All right.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I like the whole feeling of biting through a layer of tomatoes, then lettuce, then onions, then the meat and the cheese. I don't like having shit scattered all over. And I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of cheese there. That was a little bit of onion. Oh, little bit of tomato. Oh, there's all the meats. I didn't like that. I want to know what I'm fucking biting into. Anyhow, disappointing for me. But anyhow, what do we got? Let's hit it. It's 15 minutes in.
Yeah, I wanted to hit up on a couple of comments in our last show from our actual comment section, not just the chat.
Okay.
They do bring you chat fucks up all the time. But can you read this, by the way?
Yeah.
Read Mr. Indiana.
1858, of course, of all animals in the world, Derek says sperm whale.
And you know what? When you said that too, if you go back and watch the video, I even do a little, of course.
I have no idea what we're talking about. I don't remember saying it.
Well, we were talking about animals.
Right.
That's about all I got. I don't know. I had to go back and take a look. But the one I really wanted to bring up here was Brandon's comment.
Okay. Brandon Duel 942 or Brandon Duel. Do you realize you look exactly like Elliot Randall, the guitarist and that did the solo on Reelin' in the Years? Doppelganger, Steely Dan. Me or Brett?
All right. You tell me.
Oh, that's frightening. Now that dude's nose is a fucking. There is no way that looks like me. Do we have a different photo of this guy? Because this nose is gigantic.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's a little older than you. Your nose will get there eventually, Derek.
No, it won't. Not that big. And it won't have giant nostrils like that either.
Well, maybe that's an upper view. So, Derek, once you get right up in the camera, do this. Yeah, you're still not doing it.
I'm trying.
Let's see who else thinks this.
I'm trying.
Derek got roasted. It's a twin.
I don't have a shotgun nose. Like I can't fire bullets out of my nose. What? Can you find another photo of this guy from a front face?
Literally looks exactly like Derek.
No, it does not, guys.
That's Derek's twin.
You guys are fucking blind. You're fucking blind.
I mean, he doesn't have quite the pronounced beard that you have.
I was a good-looking man. You guys suck. I was once a very good-looking man. This is not fair.
Here you go. This was the animal question. Brett asked, what animal is smart? And you said the sperm whale.
I think I redirected that to dolphins, right?
Yeah. Eventually you redirect it.
No, that's correct, Larry. I don't look English because I ain't. I'm not English. All right. All right. Thank you, Larry.
Put a beanie on him and voila. You know, I'm probably going to do that.
You guys are awful. That's all I got to say. That is not an attractive man. That's all I got to say. I know he's busy 20 years older. He's busy rocking
out there with the rest of Steely Dan. He's just, you know, and of course he's not going to look his best, man. If you were to, find a dime like you do every night.
He's 20 years older than I am too. Yeah, that doesn't help.
This could be your dad.
I'm still gonna hold it down here, Brett, and say I'm a much better looking man than that. All right, and especially you just go back 10 years ago, definitely much better looking.
I had to look up who it was, to tell you the truth, because I had no fucking clue. And
I know who's.
I looked at that and go, I mean, I can see it, and I'm absolutely going to bring it up in the show.
Of course you are. I know who Steely Dan is. I'm not a big Steely Dan fan. There are a few songs where I'm like, that's magic. But for the most part, I'm like, the other shit I can pass on that Steely Dan did have some 3 or 4 songs that are fucking no one would in their right mind ever write a song like that. Congratulations. That's pretty crazy. But outside of that, I'm not a big fan. Anyhow, 20 years older. Come on, man. More like 6. Hey, fuck off. You guys are being cocksuckers. Stop. Jesus. Not fair.
Adam Wiggins wants us to play Derek's song while the picture's up.
Can we play Brett? Can we get Brett to play Derek's song while the picture is up? No, we're not going to waste the time doing that.
I will make a special video for you guys for Thursday's show.
All right. Brett, I think that's inappropriate. I'm calling HR.
Derek, I'm going to ask you if you can make sure if you can go ahead and edit his mouth where it moves with you singing, and then it'll be fully immersive.
My problem is I got small nostrils. See that? I do. I got a German
marbles up there, man. Stretch that.
I got
out,
I got a German nose. There's nothing I can do.
I'm just saying there are civilizations and cultures in Africa that put discs in their lips and make these massive lips. You can do that with your nose.
Fucking people do that now, Brett. They put discs on their fucking testicles, ears, everything.
I wouldn't understand the testicles. I feel like is that made up? Are you making that up?
Well, they put rings on them, right?
Man, it'd be rough to pierce your testicles, man.
Not really. It's lots of flabby skin. I know. My testicles had to heal for a long time. So I can attest to the fact. I can attest to testicles. There you go. All right. Moving on.
Yep. Moving on to some serious stuff now, Derek. That other stuff was just for fun.
Okay.
So here's a video I got of Indy traffic. I don't know if it's in Indy, but I'm going to say it's Indy because that'll make it closer to home. Well, that was unexpected.
Okay.
What do you think is going to happen, Derek?
I don't know. There's no context here. Give me play it for 5 seconds, and I can tell you. Somebody's gonna get their ass rammed.
Okay. Well, I don't want to hear what's happening inside the car. What's going to happen on the road?
I don't know, but yeah, somebody's getting their ass slammed into here. Yes.
Oh, you motherfucker!
What is that fucker doing? Oh my god! Holy shit!
Who saw that coming? Come on.
Who is this dumb fuck?
You just got owned, motherfucker!
Who's the dumb fuck that stops his car in the middle of the fucking moving road?
And I'm trying to look past him because this is 3D. Of course, you could look like this and say, oh, there's nobody in front of him and all. But I don't see anything. I don't see anything. Why would they stop? Let's just play this real quick because I don't think there's a reason why they stopped. Oh, that guy pulled in front of him. So he slams on the brake? God damn.
Yeah, bad driving, but there's so much fucking bad driving out there. I don't want to even get into it. It's so annoying every day. Every fucking day it's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, hey, wake up, fucking granny. And I don't want me to pick on granny, but I have to say the worst drivers out there are all the women 78, between 78 and whatever above.
Yeah.
They drive. It's just horrible. Horrible. 20 miles per hour and a 35. I'm sorry. That's a cliche, and it's true. And it's true.
You give them rights to vote, and they can drive. I mean, come on.
Oh, now who's tempting?
I can't.
Twitter. Now who's tempting?
Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's roll the dice.
All right.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, Derek. Do you know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator?
Yes.
What's the difference?
I believe that crocodiles are in Australia. The crocodiles are everywhere, but alligators are pretty much particular to the United States of America.
That's true. Alligators tend to be more freshwater based.
Mm-hmm.
Crocodiles tend to be more saltwater
based. Yes.
But that's not what I'm indicating here. So I'm going to throw up a picture here, and I want you to read the caption because that'll tell you all you need to know between a crocodile and an alligator.
Okay. For those of you who don't know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator, the crocodile is the one next to the alligator. Yeah, it's on the right. It's on the right. Yes, but that's kind of funny. That's funny, like you're supposed to know, because most people don't know. But yeah, an alligator's on the left, the crocodile's on the right. Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I saw that. I'm like, I thought it was funny. It's like I don't have it with me. But there's a meme that had a picture of a good-looking girl next to a kangaroo, and it's talking about this whole descriptor is talking about what you think is talking about a kangaroo, like, oh, they're this, that, they're this, and you're thinking to yourself like, oh my god, a kangaroo is horrible, and then it's like, and the thing next to it is a kangaroo, you know.
Right.
All right, let's see what. Oh, this one's fun. Probably should have brought this one up after the driver joke, but oh well, it happens. All right, Derek.
Well,
we got slingshots. We got watermelons. How far do you think she's going to sling this shit?
probably right back in her face.
It's almost as if you've seen this video, Derek.
I have not.
Right in the kisser. Show that knight who's boss.
Get him. Get that knight. Boom.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
God.
Ouch. That break a nose. Oh, yeah. That
Because
hurt.
at that point, she
That
was
fucking
dead.
hurt.
She was dead.
No, she wasn't.
She absolutely had to die from that. She had her
ate
face caved in from that watermelon.
She ate at least a half a fucking pound of watermelon. without, unwillingly.
I am not an animal.
Yeah, that was tough, man. That's tough.
I
Hey,
don't even know, man.
it's like it's like she didn't know what she was doing.
AMW says, "Can we do that to Greg?"
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
And both melons exploded.
I don't think I hit her in the tits. All right, what else we got? We got
melon here.
Yes. Oh, that melon. My bad. All right. That's odd. We call it that the melon and these melons too. All right. Well, not me because I'm a cultured person, but other people do. All right. What do we got? More jackassery? When do we get to the show?
Come on.
All right. One more.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's
that's
gotta
fine.
be.
That's fine, Derek.
Like 27
last fluff video for you, Derek. Jeez.
27
kill
minutes
all the fun
in.
from everybody else. Well, this is the last one, guys. Last one.
It's 27 minutes. This is longer than normal.
So have you seen those the people that like to put the jelly on their hand, they light it on fire,
No, that sounds stupid.
wipe it off and everything like that.
No, that sounds.
The thing is, when you do, man, you got to look cool when you extinguish it and everything like that.
Okay.
But I don't think that's the case in this situation. Lit on fire. Up.
Holy shit! I'm okay.
I mean,
all right, little
Get
freaky.
I mean, come on. It's just that if
I've
you're going
never
to try to do something cool like that, you can't scream. You can't scream like that.
No, that's like a 13, 12-year-old,
And then
8-year-old.
What's the
girl
point of
scream.
trying to act cool afterwards? I mean, unless that was the whole point of the video, maybe he was just going for the shits and giggle there.
I mean,
It didn't really burn. He just freaked out because he wanted to get everybody to laugh.
No, he freaked out. He panicked. That's okay though. But hey, don't do that shit live. That's all I gotta say. That's stupid.
All right. Well,
don't play
Derek,
with fire.
because of you, we'll actually start branching off into soccer topics.
Really? Okay.
Killed all of our fun. That's fine, Derek. That's how it is.
I mean, Jesus, you can only do so much horseshit. And it's not like we do it on purpose, but hey.
There we go.
MLS statement on Bruce Arena. It was announced earlier this evening that Bruce Arena has resigned as sporting director and head coach. Boy, it must have been bad. Must have been bad, Brett.
We talked about it. He's been on administrative leave since July 30th, and is just now leaving.
As a result of the investigation, which has confirmed certain of these allegations, should Arena wish to pursue future employment with MLS, he must first submit a petition to the commissioner. MLS is committed to safe and welcoming work environments and expects all employees of the league and its clubs to conduct themselves appropriately in the workplace. I've never heard a damn story about Bruce Arena crossing the line like that, so that's kind of weird. Of all the players that we've talked to and we've known and we've had on the show, I mean, back in the day, especially, I have never heard anyone say anything like he's just a cock, he's a dick, he's an inappropriate.
Well,
fuck.
Jermaine Jones had some choice words about him.
Yeah, but that's different. He never played at Jermaine Jones. Jermaine Jones doesn't know Bruce from a fucking hole in the wall. Well, I guess he might. But my point being,
does Jermaine Jones frequent glory holes?
All right, stop it.
It is a German thing, right?
No, that's not just a German thing. That's all kinds of people like that. All right, so I just don't understand what Bruce did. I wish I knew. I wish I knew some more information. We're probably not ever going to know. But
I think
a smart guy who never really crossed the line before, so I'm kind of surprised by this.
I think the interesting aspect of it all is he says, as per the result of the investigation, which confirms certain aspects of the allegation, should Arena want to pursue future employment within MLS, he must first submit a petition to the commissioner.
It's a hell of a way to fall.
But that screams to me almost that's got to be not necessarily internal, but more like internal for like the whole organization, the MLS organization. Maybe the choice words weren't necessarily about a team or an employee, but more about the whole organization.
Nah.
Well, it seems strange that he's got to submit a petition to the commissioner at that point. I mean, I feel like that's really personal when it comes to that point.
I mean, you're talking about insensitive. Would MLS have a problem with him saying an insensitive thing about MLS? Dude, what would that possibly be? What would an insensitive comment?
There, Lee Wynn chose to go from IU to PSV. And when he ended up coming back to MLS the first time, they said, fuck you. You didn't take our guaranteed MLS Generations Adidas contract. You're going to get league minimum. Of course they're going to get butthurt if you say shit about them.
No, this is very specific the way this is worded.
I don't know.
He obviously said some insensitive things to people, not about MLS. MLS is used to that, number one. And number two, they're not going to take out Bruce Arena for that, because Bruce Arena would come out and say, all I said was fucking MLS sucks. That's all. You can't fire me.
You remember this statement just came out. He might come out and say something.
No.
And at his age, why the fuck not? If it's about MLS. Now, mind you, if he said something insensitive that's about a player or a team or something like that, then sure. Probably won't say shit. But if it's about MLS, like I said, the way I read this, the way I looked at this, screamed personal.
Well, you missed the words work environment. Because that's what this is about.
It is a franchise-run organization, a single entity.
No, Brett, it's not. You know that's not how this works, although it technically is. All the clubs at this point make their own fucking decisions for the most part
but
about who they sign.
The same single entity. So you piss off Mother Bear, Papa Bear. Just saying.
All right. Enough conspiracy theories for the night.
I don't know. It's weird that he has to submit a petition to the commissioner in order to get back in if he wants. If Chicago wants to get an actual coach.
Good luck on that. But yeah, it is odd.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's odd that the commissioner's the only one.
Exactly. That's my point. It seems who knows, maybe this is all part of their bylaws or whatnot. Maybe this was all just he made a comment about one of the Mexican teams that they were playing against in the League's Cup or whatever it was, or maybe it was about a specific player. I don't know. But this screams personal. So I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm an idiot with a microphone. I don't know.
He's one of the most decorated MLS coaches who's been very pro MLS this whole time. So I think so. Good job, Brett. At what? Surely not his take on this topic.
I think he is. I'll specify.
Surely not.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah. Come on. I don't think that this. I think I can imagine.
He's got his entire career without saying an offensive word towards another team, especially having played a number of. I'm sticking with the Mexican teams because he played. It was during League's Cup and everything. He's played against Mexico. He's done all this stuff, and all of a sudden he has one flub now, and they're shit-canning him.
No, it sounds like that he's created a work environment there that is like Jimmy Fallon's, uncomfortable.
So he yells at his players. They don't like it.
We don't know about that. This sounds like staff.
I mean, this isn't like the work environment with Lizzo where she's made her backup dancers eat bananas that were previously in other people, but
what, in her twat?
Not her twat, but Dutch prostitutes.
Well, I'm sorry. That's disgusting. At least you have to
Yes.
know. You have to know what twat it came from. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's my point. Even the Jimmy Fallon thing. I mean, even then, I don't know what happened. There may be some really really horrible things that he did while intoxicated.
He came to work drunk, and nobody knew if it was going to be good Jimmy or bad Jimmy.
Yeah, what happens with bad Jimmy? He gets angry.
He was an
and yells at
he
people?
was yeah, he was an asshole. Everybody had to walk on eggshells around
How
him.
many jobs have you had that you've had to deal with assholes, employees or bosses?
I mean, a number.
There you go.
Yep. I mean, it happens. I mean, they didn't treat me like shit, but I've seen them treat other people like shit, and then I would have to say something. And anyhow, yeah, the point being here, Bruce, I guess at this point, boomered it. He just
He's out. Put it this way, and quite frankly, he should retire at this point. He's old enough that he should just enjoy his twilight years.
I don't know. He could still coach a few more.
Oh, sure. I don't doubt that.
But he's just not going to. Because
Exactly.
he's no way he's submitting a petition to fucking Don Garber's testicles.
That's not going to fucking happen. No, absolutely not.
Right. No.
No.
All right.
All
Sorry,
right.
Bruce. I don't know what you did, but, good night.
I got up here next. Oh.
Sean Weeks, do you think the fans will stop supporting U.S. men's national team if Gregg stays long-term, i.e. past Copa America, if results and playing style stay the same? Yeah, that's got to change, obviously. Gregg, I think, recognized that in the last 10 minutes of the last game, so we'll see about that. But, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about fans staying, shit, hardly anybody showed up for last night's game in the capital of U.S. soccer.
All right, two fronts here. We've had this conversation about the capital of U.S. soccer, and I still stand firm on the fact that I think he's referring to when he was growing up as a Ute. Second of all, what were we talking about? The attendance, and I've got a topic about the attendance coming up here soon, so I won't spoil that. Okay. Do I think the fans will stop supporting U.S. men's national team as long as Gregg stays on the team?
No.
Given a poor performance in Copa, I think there may be some people who will bow out. I think as a majority, no.
I think
it'll be perfectly fine. Continue to bitch and watch, and that's what you and I are going to be doing. We're going to be bitching and watching.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give up on those guys, those players, because they're coached by a fucking cocksucker. That is not what I'm going to do. Is it painful to watch? Was after the first 20 minutes of the last game extremely painful to watch? Yes.
Even parts of the first 20 minutes were still painful to watch.
Yeah, I rewatched today. I'm like, okay, it got bad after De La Torre left.
We'll definitely get into this, but there's a level of disjointedness. I'm not sure if that's even a word in this situation, but
it is.
You know what I'm trying to say here.
You can make
it.
Least. Right.
I'm making it. It's a Brettism. I'm making this.
Disjointedness. I like it.
Yes. All right. So there's actually a Betty Crocker actually commented on this a couple months back. I figured that, hey, this all plays together. Let's run through that. So here's Betty Crocker.
Crocker asked about Copa America and whether it could lead him to want to make a change. Crocker, vision is clear. Set to have Gregg lead the team through 2026 and beyond. Says Gregg has developed front-footed team. Nah, we didn't see that last night, dude. I mean, we saw it for like brief 5-minute stints in that first 20 minutes. And then we saw us go backwards completely in the second half. So I guess.
Well, against a significantly better Asian team here, I think there's very much echoes of the Iran game that we witnessed last night or Saturday.
Iran's a lot better.
That's what I'm saying. Iran's a lot better. But we went at Iran. We got our goal relatively early, wasn't it? Like 20, 30 minutes in.
Are you saying we packed it in?
And then we kind of let our foot off the pedal. Not that we packed it in. We just let our foot off the pedal. We kind of coasted through, and it got sloppy. Uzbekistan had chances, etc.
Oh, it got sloppy. It got sloppy. I'm not sure we necessarily took the foot off the pedal for the first 20 minutes. I think we
went for the first
it.
20. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think
after that.
Until De La Torre got injured. Yeah. I think at that point, and maybe even through the first half, And then we kind of let off. At the beginning of the second half, I think was actually a positive, but then it kind of let off more there. So
first 5 minutes were fine, and then
yeah. Again, we'll get into this in more depth when we talk about this topic. But yeah, it shows that regardless, this is the same conversation you and I had last cycle when people were talking about, well, when's Berhalter going to get fired? And we're like, he's not going to get fired. He's not going to let go. Berhalter is going to be coaching us in 2026. We all have to accept this.
And then you look back at Berhalter's days as a coach. And when he did play a 4-3-3 with Columbus, it was a 4-3-3 defending, not a 4-3-3 attacking, which is all he plays now. I mean, that's the idea, right? Mm-hmm. But here's a guy who used to play the 4-2-3-1 consistently when he had Higuain. I'm going to tell you right now that Reyna is going to be, when he's at his very best, he's going to be just as good as Higuain down the road. So I think that's the guy that's got to start, and that's the guy that's the reason we have to play a 4-2-3-1. We've got to get somebody to connect with that center forward. But looking back on Gregg's Hammarby days, he had the same issues we're having now. And they just couldn't score more than 1 or 2 goals a game. And yeah, we got 3, but we didn't. I mean, that was a joke.
Misleading scoreline, yes.
But as far as his league goes, Gregg scored with Hammarby 1.52 points a game on average, out of the 3 available. Then he went to Columbus, and a lot of people think, oh, yeah, he did really good at Columbus. No, he did not. He did not. He scored 1.43. That is less than he did at Hammarby. Of course, he wasn't fired like he was fired at Hammarby for having actually a better points per game average. At Columbus, he was celebrated and hired by the fucking U.S. national team. Amazing.
Well, I mean, you play into MLS's you play into your benefit with MLS in that sense, where like 60% of the teams make the playoffs, and at that point, it's just a per game basis. So if he does well enough in the playoffs, he gets far through there. Columbus is going to be like, "Ooh, let's go."
Well, his last season there, he made it to the quarters.
Yeah, I would take it. As a Chicago fan, I'd be super happy. Somebody made a comment on Twitter basically saying like how nothing draws a fan base together like hating a common foe, which is the coach. And I'm like, and they're talking about basically how they get results. I'm a Chicago fan. I'm still waiting for this to happen, where we're all bitching about the coach, that we're finally going to start seeing the results. Never happens.
Well, it's easy to despise Gregg unless you're some Gregg nut nuzzler out there, and if you are, nuzzle away.
Good for you. Yeah.
But when this motherfucker, first of all, comes up with the slogan, how he wants to change the way the rest of the world views soccer. I mean, who says shit like that, number one? And now the new goal is to change soccer in America forever. Well, guess what, dude? You can change soccer in a bad way, too, you fuckface. Change? How much of a fucking gray area word is that? Change. We're going to change soccer in America ever. I guess we're supposed to assume for the better? We're just supposed to assume that? I guess. I don't know.
Well, to use that as an example for Saturday's game, we went into that game, everybody went into that game expecting a victory. We had our A squad more or less, minus a player here and there. We had an A squad, and we went into that game expecting a win. And we got to win. Don't get me wrong on that front. We got to win. Hey, yay for us. But we could have easily been down 2-1, 3-1 part of the way through the second half.
Yes.
There were a number of plays that could have happened. That game could have ended so much differently, and we would be singing a different song as a whole here. Now, mind you, some of us are looking at it in a different scope as a whole, but it's – I don't know. It's
I am more aggravated, Brett.
Yeah.
Yes, the game aggravated me. But I am more, at this point, aggravated by mission statements.
Yes, absolutely.
Like changing soccer in America forever, which, by the way, is like when I used to be a school consultant and a school district consultant. And I would go to these schools, and their school mission would say, we want to create good citizens. And I'd say, well, how do you know that you're creating good citizens?
Yeah.
Do you call them when they're 30 and say, hey, I want to call you and check it out? Do you become a good citizen? Oh, you did? Okay, check. Thank you. I mean, you can't make blurry ass mission statements like this. It's got to be something that people can hold on to. Now, I will say that Gregg has said semifinals. We want to go past where we've ever been. Now that I can abide by that kind of mission statement.
That's a goal. No, that's not a mission statement. That's a goal.
That's a goal.
We don't need a motto. We don't need a mission statement. We got to do this, to do this. You know what? Just go out there and fucking win games.
No, I get it.
All that we want as fans.
That is a goal. I don't need blurry ass mission statements like change soccer in America forever. Because guess what? When we fucking lost the world, we didn't even qualify for the World Cup. That certainly changed soccer in America forever. It certainly put a dent on things, and now that's a historical fucking documented event.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that changed a lot. Now, and wasn't for the better. I don't like this blurry shit. So, anyhow.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, though. When you go into talking about, like, we're going to change how the world views American soccer. And then we play Uzbekistan. We go up 1-0 in the fourth fucking minute. And then for the remainder of the 90 minutes before stoppage time in the second half, we really don't have – we have a couple chances here and there, sure. But Uzbekistan has just as many chances on goal. A couple of them, Turner had to come up huge on.
Breakaway.
Absolutely.
Bar.
So when we talk about that, we're changing. Uzbekistan probably came into this match going, yeah, we're probably going to lose. And then they left the match going, we could have beat them.
Well,
if we would have put this chance and that chance away, different game altogether.
Stop spitting stuff, Gregg. Like, I mean, one of the big things he said was, again, this is just one of those things that makes me not like Gregg Berhalter, because he'll say things like, well, if you really look at it, going into the next World Cup, there's all kinds of Asian teams that could make it. And these teams are currently ranked, 9th and 8th or 9th and 10th or whatever. And, no one's scoring on this team. They've only given up 6 goals in the last 10 games or whatever the fuck he said. Okay, fine. Who fucking cares? What I'm really concerned about was the performance, our performance, not what their record is and what they normally do, but how we underperformed for the evening. So anyhow, yeah, sorry. I'm getting into topics we're going to talk about later.
Oddly enough, Larry's in the chat trying to get me to take my shirt off. Strange.
He wants to see your nipples. All right. Don't care about the discourse.
Well, no. Start with Jeff. Jeff Carlisle says, anthem time, only about 16K expected to attend the match. Now go.
Don't care about the discourse of holding it in St. Louis and football capital of the U.S. nonsense that's going on. Charging $100 to see them play Uzbekistan. No disrespect. In an exhibition game is fucking criminal and shows you how out of touch the Federation are. Yeah, dude, there's got to be cheaper tickets than that. For a friendly against Uzbekistan. If it were Germany or Argentina or Brazil or even Italy or I don't know, but Uzbekistan?
No, they talk about this all the time. They talk about all the price of tickets in Germany and England and stuff like that compared to the United States. And yet we're getting raked over for it. They use raked, not raked.
Raked. Yes.
Raked.
Raked.
Said raked.
Raked. Not the P word. Jason Gonzalez Ortega, 199. Thank you, brother. Told you all about GG. Also, Sota better than Ferreira.
We were all.
What do you mean?
I'm assuming we're all on board with you with GGG and Sota over Ferreira. So,
Jason, when was the first time you told us about it?
He's mentioned it before.
I know, but we've been only bitching about.
We're all on the same fucking page, yeah. But I mean, I know when Berhalter got announced, Derek and I were like, "Hey, we're going to give him a clean slate here."
Yeah, we did.
Let's see what happens.
We did,
and we saw what happened.
Yep. It's not like we started out of the bucket like fuck this guy. That's not what happened. What happened is we watched what he did, and then we were like, "This guy's kind of a stubborn fuck who just won't let go of chaining these players up and forcing them to play in this fucking, constipated system." So this is not new.
Yeah.
I've been saying it longer because I actually made a video like 6 years ago before the show even started. Independently. So
Andrew Johnson says tickets are $43 tomorrow in Minnesota. How many tickets is a big question there, right? Like, is it like 200 tickets and the remaining tickets are going to be like $99 and above?
I don't know.
USSF seems to be getting super greedy. Continuing that conversation. Oh my goodness, this is what happened here. Oh well, fuck it. Let's go with this. Why not?
Okay. This is from 2017. The strategy has been to sell fewer tickets at higher prices. It's not about creating an atmosphere or growing the game. It's about optimizing one specific revenue line item, ticket revenue. No, I mean, I don't know whoever else pointed this out, but yeah, I've been reading this for some time now. This is exactly what's going on. Like, you could go out and just go to local youth clubs and be handing out tickets.
Yep. And
handing out tickets.
I had a couple other tweets pulled up from the last tweet, actually. So that was the launching point moving forward in this thread. And it's definitely a talking point that everybody, even pundits, are talking about as far as the cost of tickets, etc. And what this talks about is how there are fewer tickets sold, but they're sold at a higher price. So USSF makes more money per ticket. They don't care if they sell out. They don't care if they sell out 100,000 tickets on stadium against U.S. versus Mexico.
Right.
It's not about as long as they make more money in the end. I don't care if they sell 100,000 tickets or 60,000 tickets. Who cares?
I mean, this isn't really brain science. You sell the shittier seats for extremely affordable prices. How fucking hard is that? It's stupid to do this. I mean, put the upper row guys, make those. I mean, just make the cheapest, the tickets cheaper as the higher you go up. I mean, I just don't understand how conceptually difficult this is, but I can see the marketing twats at fucking MLS sitting around debating this shit. Oh, well, we don't want to devalue the American national. No. No, we got to make sure we're getting value for each game. So, yeah, if we bring the ticket prices down, people think like, oh, fuck, it's not that important. It's not a big game. U.S. men's national team's not that fucking important. But what they're really saying is, hey, we want to make as much money as possible and fuck the small guy and his kids who want to come out and see the game because he can't afford, especially in the current economy where people are living paycheck to paycheck, to fork out $400, $500 to bring the entire crew to the game. Now, in this Minnesota game, it looks like maybe they could do that, but not the last one. Not the last one.
Well, here we go looking at the U.S. home attendance stat sheet here. In 2002, the attendance was at 1.2 mil, capacity at 2.5, roughly 2.5 mil, and they had 3 sold-out stadiums. And if you look at 2022, it's just over 1 mil. The 1.6 or 1.7 capacity and 12 sold-outs. So what that tells me is back in the day in 2002. Let's go back into the year 2000. In the year 2000, you know, we used to sell more tickets in bigger stadiums in fewer games than we did in 2022, where we sold out more games with less attendance.
So yeah, we're playing in smaller and smaller stadiums. That's
Yes.
why the sellouts number is higher. But I mean, attendance is starkly down. Starting in, I mean, the big numbers are 2014, 2018, and then look at 2022. Ouch. That is painful. I mean, that is a stark drop in attendance. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, do you want us to give a fuck or do you not want people to give a fuck would be the question. And it certainly
do you
looks.
just want to make money or do you want to grow a fan base? Is the big question, really.
I am starting to wonder, really, Brett, if they really want fans to come anyhow. I just sometimes I just wonder because it's not that hard of a thing to do to market to fans, to go out and do outreach and give affordable tickets to certain parts of the community. Really do outreach to the Hispanic community and Black community and make sure they're affordable tickets for the white rural people. Who live outside the city and they love soccer and they want to come. I don't know if they do or not, but you know what? The point is, all these, you think of all the tiny satellite cities around Indianapolis, there's some soccer loving fucking cities out there, or not. I don't know what you call them, city town.
Mexico on the west side, yeah.
I mean,
there's interest. There's definitely interest there.
You got Avon.
Which city you go to, yeah.
And Westfield and Plainfield, and this isn't Indianapolis proper, but I mean, there's lots of farms in those areas too, but people want to fucking come out and they want to watch soccer. If you give them a ticket that they can afford, I think they would go. It does not help that the style of play that we play is not very fucking exciting to watch. It's the horseshoe. It's the horseshoe passing around. Yeah, that's not fun to watch. So yeah, I get why some people don't want to come either. Al Weinstein, 199. This is about control of supply chains. What do you think it means by that?
Well, I mean, you can I imagine it has to do with controlling the amount of potential tickets available per match, and that if you can limit them to the point where they're going to be super expensive, you're going to make more money in that sense, but you're going to limit to who's going to be actually there. I don't know.
Yes,
speculating, of course, what he means by this.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that's if you're really out to build the game, supply chain that's not what you should be thinking about. You're gonna make your basic bottom line dollar with the big seats, the seats that are right in the best seats, and those should be expensive. Those are fine, but why not make the seats in the back totally affordable? I don't get it. To me, it's stupidity. That's what I grew up with. When I was a kid, you watch the Yankees. Well, hey, you don't want to pay that much? You got to sit in the top row. Suck it. But you got your tickets. They were much cheaper to sit in the cheaper part of the seats. You still got to watch the game. I
know there's definitely a benefit as far as playing the game in an MLS stadium where you have a closer environment with the audience, with the attendees, and it's supposed to make that a sensation, a feeling of a soccer specific feeling, Whereas
right on top,
Whereas if you played like Kansas City Stadium, with Arrowhead or whatever, where it's like whatever 60,000 plus, whatever the fuck it is, But if you made the tickets, like $15, let's just say, you'd probably draw in a shit ton of fucking people.
Yeah.
And you could probably make just as much money in the end if you did stuff like that.
I mean, if you're trying to fill the stadium at some point when you already know there's going to be 10,000 empty seats, fuck it, man. Just give them to local clubs and have them give them out to youth clubs to their families and the kids in the youth club. Fill the fucking stadium, bite the bullet. Yeah. But build the game.
Exactly, because you're building the fan base at that point, and you're utilizing your golden generation at this point to do so. And we could have done that back in 2002 when we had that golden generation, coming through the woodwork. Now we have a new golden generation. You could literally get a larger stadium, offer cheap tickets to clubs around the area. They come with their families. They enjoy it. You win. You beat Uzbekistan 3-0. And the 10-year-old is sitting there like, fuck yeah, we just beat them, motherfuckers. I mean, they would, those words maybe per se, but.
Right. Well, yeah, probably not. But Diego has a great point here.
Yeah.
He says, hey, those attendance numbers are crazy. This is the golden gen as far as U.S. standards will ever be, and the Fed hasn't learned how to capitalize them. That's correct. They haven't, because outside of Pulisic, who has been the star feature magazine interviews and the articles? I mean, we're just seeing a little bit of Reina nowadays, but not a whole lot. But outside of Pulisic, who's the fucking guy that gets talked about the most and featured in the articles the most and the most attention? And it's all about his fucking system. It's fucking Gregg Berhalter. And that's the way
the most uninteresting person of the group, right?
Most fucking boring fuck.
Who cares about the fucking manager?
I mean,
nobody cares.
He's never got anything insightful to say. I have not heard this guy say one thing that blew my mind. Like, oh, he really fucking gets this shit. I have not heard a single goddamn sentence from this guy that made me think, oh, and I can go through past managers, and I'd say Bob Bradley has said things in the past about the team that I thought, okay, he gets it. He knows what he's doing here. And especially after we beat Spain. But of course, in the Confederations Cup, yeah, then I really believed what he was talking about.
None of the older managers make any difference. It's all about the players. When it comes to the fan base, the younger kids that you're trying to grow this fan base with, they don't care about Berhalter. They don't care about Klinsmann. They don't care about Bradley. They don't care about Arena. All they care about at that point is who's the stars and how are you marketing them. That's the big key.
How many fucking articles about Bruce Arena were written and Bob Bradley about how he hooked up with all these goddamn major corporate fuckwads and he was best friends with so they could study leadership together? How many positive articles were written about either two of those managers? And for that, how many positive articles were written about Jurgen Klinsmann's study of philosophy and leadership? None. This fucking generation of media are the biggest bunch of pussy cocksuckers that ever lived. They have sucked this guy's dick so hard, it's got to be red and raw. And it's time for it to stop. It's time for it to stop. Stop featuring this guy in articles about how fucking brilliant he is. Stop it. No more. I can't even remember what fucking magazine that was now that did that. It's despicable.
You mean the Vanity Fair article?
Is that the Vanity Fair?
Where that was his big recent post, yeah.
No, there's the other one where they talked about, how he dealt with the whole Reina thing and how he's working with behind the scenes with all these fucking great, amazing, goddamn business leaders and corporate fucking whores that he's so interested in leadership and philosophy of leadership. That shit.
The three bigs have always been ESPN, The Athletic, and now Vanity Fair, apparently.
No, ESPN fucks him in the ass constantly. Thank God for that. Thank you guys.
There are a number of people that are saying like, "Oh, why can't your girl Meg ever comment on this?" Blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, that's because nobody at U.S. Soccer is actually calling on Meg to ask a question. Right?
Yeah, and I don't.
There are a number of independent pressers out there that sit there and want to ask a question. They don't get called upon, and they get asked. They ask the same
dudes
over and over again, unless you happen to be a local news pundit of that city, wherever the game is going to be held at. St. Louis, now Minnesota. Expect the same pundits and occasional one or two Minnesota pundits.
Well, to be fair,
it's not going to be shit.
To be fair, articles written so far about the last game by Goff were not positive. By Carlisle, not positive. I posted another one up as well.
Not positive in Gregg's behalf or the team's
Not
behalf.
positive about the team or Gregg or the performance of the team. Who else? Goff. Shredder was like, yeah, that was a lame.
Yeah, but I expect Shredder to be that way though.
Yeah, but no.
I don't expect the others per se.
But none of them would say. None of them would say why. That's the problem. And it's not their job to necessarily say why, because that's an editorial, right? It is an editorial to suddenly casting your opinion into it. So they basically just said, yeah, that was not a great performance. Don't let the score fool you. But they're not really, and I don't expect them to say why, because that's not what they do. Although Jeff Carlisle fucking said some whys before in his whole Reina Berhalter spiel, which I think, if you're going to say why there, why don't you say why now? And we all know why, because we're back to Gregg ball, period. The ski, $5. Yes, get them. Y'all making this 103 fever go away. Oh, I'm sorry you got a fever, man.
Hey, if we're curing that shit, man, we're going to have to start marketing this better.
I hear whiskey and vodka and beer and joints all fix that.
I don't recall the last time I had a serious temperature. I mean, I know.
I do.
I had COVID once, and I was under a heavy blanket, and I had a quote unquote 104 temperature.
Mm-hmm.
That was bullshit. It was like 100.1 or something like that in the end.
Yeah.
But.
And my balls have been hot before, but other than that, I'm fine. All right. Diego says, love y'all. Going to dinner with my fiance. Damn, good for you, brother. Boy. And watching the Bills. I'm watching the Bills too. Enjoy the game. I like football.
So just generic. The Bills are playing. I'm going to watch it. Is what you're saying.
I like the Jets. I used to live in New York for 4 years, and I do like American football. Whatever. I love soccer.
Who are the Bills playing? Who are the Bills playing?
The Jets.
Okay, so basically this is just a comment of him watching NFL football.
Yeah, it's fun.
No, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine to say. But
you don't watch the Colts?
I don't watch Colts. No, unless I'm at a friend's house when the Colts are playing. Yes. And me on a Sunday sitting on my couch. If I have a choice between watching some random video on YouTube and Colts, I'll watch random video on YouTube.
All right. Well, that's your choice.
It is. I agree.
Enjoy the game tomorrow. I didn't even finish reading his post.
Oh, it wasn't Super Chat. Who cares?
Okay. Pay up, man. We know you got the money. have a good time, 29. Have a good time, Diego.
Anyways, Derek, I got a snippet here that's gonna blow your mind because you're gonna agree with it.
Okay, let's bring it on.
What do you think it's about? Who do you think said it?
That I'm gonna agree with?
It's gonna be a shocker that you agree with it.
Then it's Lawless.
There you go.
Oh shit. I'm sure he has his reasons, but it seems ridiculous that a conversation hasn't happened between Berhalter and Gio Reyna. And even more ridiculous that Berhalter, his reps, and USSF felt an interview with Vanity Fair, given the situation, would help his image. Oh my God, what's going wrong with Alexi? He's right.
I saw this. I'm like, oh my God, Derek's going to agree with him. This is the first.
Alexi, can we do this more often? Me, you, agreeing on stuff? I know it happens on the occasion, but this is the best thing you've said in at least 5 months. One of the best things you've ever written. What the hell?
Diego pointed out that we didn't read the last part, and it does make a difference, I guess.
Can't confirm or deny Tillman at the 10. Well, with the wink, I think you mean yes. He's going to start. Especially with Luka out. And then you start Musa McKinney at the holding spots, and you start Tillman at
we'll jump back to Lawless here in just a second. But I mean, there's a number of conversations occurring on Twitter, and I've been a part of them as far as saying when Gio was playing in the 4-3-3 under Hudson and
it's true
BJ, whether or not he was playing at 10 or just another 8. And of course, my argument is always when Gio's out there, he has less defensive responsibilities and more offensive responsibilities. Well, that doesn't mean he won't cut back and get the ball behind Musa or McKinney in that sense.
Well,
but it means that he's always going to be higher up in the pitch when it matters.
In one of the games in particular, he obviously played more of a 10. In the other game, he played as part of the 3, and he had more room to roam and did. I don't know what you want to call that position. It was an 8/10. I don't know. But on defense, he definitely got back to playing as a 3.
Well, and we know that McKinney and Weah aren't going back to so we know McKinney's going to be a part of the midfield. And now Diego's letting us know that Tillman's going to be part of the midfield.
So in a perfect world, maybe this is what Gregg's trying to do, right? In a perfect world, he wants to play as 4-3-3, but he wants one of the 3 midfielders to be rotating. To be rotating in an attacking move. Damn, Kevin Durham.
Oh my god, this is hurting.
Are you having a heart attack?
I might be. Yeah. I saw the red and I was like, holy shit. You gotta pull this up now.
Kevin Durham with our first official red.
Ooh.
Our first official red donation.
Thank
you, Kevin. I mean, my fucking balls are getting sweaty looking at that number. GGG sucks so bad, I'm willing to spend $100 to say it.
Fucking hell. Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Kevin. In Gregg's perfect world mind, he would like to see the midfield have one guy that's really responsible in front of that back 4 and have the other 2 6s. The other 2 8s have more free roam and be like 2 10s, 2 8-10s, right? But that's never quite how that fucking works out. I would rather have 2 holding midfields and just say, hey, Reyna, when he's back, or in this case, Tillman, go ahead and connect with that center forward. Be the guy who moves the ball from the defense to the attack. And we need it. We seriously fucking need it. BMR 209. Brett will definitely drive all the way to Kevin's house, right? If his wife approves, yes.
Yeah.
Midnight Man,
$100. I'm sure she'll be like, yeah, go for it, bro.
Yeah. All right. Did you discuss the turnout on Saturday? We just missed it.
Yeah, just finish it, man. Midnight, go back and rewatch. We literally just talked about that.
Yeah. Just stay with us live and check it out later. All right, what else we got?
So hold on. What were we talking about here? With
the laws.
Yeah. First off, the 10 and the concept of having an offensive-minded player. There's a bit difference because the big argument really especially on Twitter is that when it comes to the Musa, McKinney, and insert random player here, whether it's Tessman, whether it's Luca De La Torre, or when it's Adams when he comes back, is that McKinney is playing the quote-unquote more or less offensive-minded 10 role.
He's not.
But he's not, yeah. And that is the thing. Him and Musa play almost equally. Now, mind you, McKinney might get up there a bit more because he does crash that box a lot better. We saw that against Uzbekistan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to bring that ball down. Whereas Musa, in and around the box, fails to shoot the fucking ball.
As an attacking player, Musa is absolutely useless, people. So just get over that. He can move the
ball around. That's about it right there, right?
He can advance the ball from our third to their third. And then after that, he is absolutely zero useless.
Yeah.
He won't shoot. And he missed a big I think what should have been something he should have been able to put on fucking goal. Yes.
One outside the box, one inside
the box. Yes.
Yeah, one was in the first half, one was in the second half. And if he would have shot both of those, I would be singing a different tune than I am right now. But Musa, I know that he can rip these shots. We've seen it with the club. He did it with Valencia. Why isn't he doing it now?
He didn't do it very often with Valencia.
I mean, he did it a couple times. And then some of the times there was a foul called prior to his injury or his shot or whatever the fuck it was. but he can do it. That's the issue.
I mean, I
But
guess
he's not doing it.
I think
that's the bigger issue.
You're basing that on a very small number of
doing
it.
But
yes,
but it's seeing him do it, knowing that he's able to do it. And I will say that, hey, Luca De La Torre and both Aronson shot the ball.
So in darts, off sometimes on a rare night, I will hit. I will hit multiple 180s. That's 3 triple 60s. But the next day, I can't hit a single one. I'll get 1 or 2 in, but not 3. So
it's that perfect level of intoxication.
No, it seriously is. The more I drink, the better I play. It's
so there's a level. It's a bell curve, because once you get to a certain point, if you take another drink or shot, and you're going downhill at that point. And all of a sudden it's like, what the hell just happened? I was hitting that bullseye nonstop, and now I can't even hit the board,
No, I mean, listen, when I'm sober, I can't play darts. And when I'm way over it, which I don't ever get to that point, by the way, where I'm like this, oh. No, I'm not wavering back and forth. But so there is that fall off point too if you drink too much. But sober, man, I'm just broken in darts.
Yeah.
But give me a few beers and I am fucking on.
It's, again, bringing back the Beer Fest quotes. It's when I can't think of his name in the movie, but he's like, I'm better when I'm drunk,
Yeah, well, the point being, Brett, that just because on a rare occasion I can hit 180s doesn't make me a great fucking dart player. And I'm saying that about Musa.
Same comparison. Fair.
Yeah, he can rarely, on rare occasions, he has done some good stuff offensively. But it's like his old buddy or his old comparison at Atlanta and then Columbus. What's his face? The midfielder. Former
Nagbe.
U.S. Nagbe. It's the same thing. Nagbe was great advancing the ball from his third to the other team's third, and he was broken on offense, just fucking broken. And that's what Musa is. He's the same player. He's got better skills in some ways, but as far as shooting, he is really not much better than Nagbe on the offense.
I think if you're going to incorporate an offensive-minded 8 in this situation, like I said, a Tillman in this lineup, or a Reyna when he's healthy, that having Musa play as the quote-unquote designated 6 is the best option.
I agree. And I don't understand starting Luca De La Torre as the 6 when Gregg has used Musa as the 6 in the past. It's worked out great. Does he really think that playing Musa in a more advanced role is really going to bring on scoring opportunities for the United States men's national team? Show me when it has. Show me.
It's possible that he doesn't rate anybody higher than those 3, though. Maybe he doesn't rate Tillman higher than Musa as far as an offensive-minded player.
Well, that's ridiculous. Tillman's a way better offensive player than fucking Musa. That's just almost a ridiculous. Yeah. Now, if he doesn't understand that, then Gregg's just an idiot. But obviously, when Reyna comes back, and this has been a question I had to face on Twitter.
October.
I had to face on Twitter the other night, which is, okay, so you're saying Reyna's going to come back and play the 10, and we're going to play 2 midfielders. Who are you kicking out? Okay, now we got a real discussion here. Who are you kicking out? Musa, Adams, and McKennie when they're all healthy? Who's going? Who's out? Somebody's got to go. And that's true. Someone does have to go.
It's going to come down between Adams and Musa at that point.
I think who's out right now, for me personally, is Adams. I hate saying that because I think Musa can do Adams' job. Not the same kind of defensive job, but he's not bad on defense. But he's a much better carrier of the ball, a much better advancer of the ball and passer of the ball. And McKennie ain't bad at holding midfielder. He just isn't that bad. He's not so bad he can't play that role. And yet he can advance the ball as well and get it to Reyna, who can get it to the fucking center forward. That's what needs to happen because our fucking center forwards are fucking ghosts. They're ghosts.
And there are so this is my big argument as far as the Reyna playing the 10, the McKennie playing the 10. is that when McKinney plays the quote-unquote Reina position in this situation, and I'm not sure even when you think of Musa and McKinney playing as dual-8s, that there is a quote-unquote Reina position in the situation. But when they play as the dual-8s between McKinney and Musa, there's a void between our midfield and the 9.
Yes,
and we've seen this all last cycle. We're seeing it now with
Gregg
Balogun.
back,
and you're seeing Balogun check back into our defensive third to get to the ball. Sometimes
we saw Pepe check back all the way about 30 yards back.
Up until Tillman came in. Tillman and Aronson, those two when those two came in, big fucking difference as far as how the 9 acted.
Right, absolutely. And so if you're not going to have somebody who can connect the midfield to the center forward, then all you're going to do is mostly, like we did in the last game, work it down the wings and play this tiddlywinks shit out wide. Okay, that shit's broken. And then we did it on the other side. And then fucking Pulisic and Way of flip-flop sides. I'm not exactly sure why, because it didn't make anything any better. No. I'm not sure why you do that.
I think it had to do with corner kicks and shit like that, maybe.
Oh,
I think I even texted. Obviously, I watched the game on replay because I was at a nephew's soccer game and he had a tournament in Pike. In the game in Pike, the tournament in Pike, the Pike Fest. It's called Pike Fest. Half the games were played in Avon, and I'm like, wait, why? Why are half the games at Pike being played in Avon?
I don't think a lot of people are going to follow you on that one.
No. Only you, me, and maybe a couple of indie people here.
Exactly.
100%. Different cities, many minutes away.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was out watching my nephew play while the game was going on. I told Derek to fuck off. Don't text me. That generally happens. I came back and I'm watching the game on replay. And I believe I even texted you saying, like, man, we're 20 minutes in and Balogun's touched the ball like once.
Twice, I think technically.
And then he had the header that hit the post. A couple times he checked back into like our half.
Yep.
Outside of that, he was a fucking ghost. And this all comes down to Berhalter ball and our formation, our system, how we played the goddamn game in the midfield. Our 9s constantly have to check back so fucking far that they're practically a midfielder.
And I made a post in Twitter that said, I thought we had evolved past this issue with Hudson and BJ at the helm because we had evoluted. We had evolved. We had finally 9s involved in the attack on a regular basis with BJ and Hudson. 9s that didn't have to check back 30 yards to get the ball. We had through passes. All right. Mm-hmm. Where did those go? They just disappeared as soon as Gregg, the fucking cocksucker that he is, came back and installed his little wretched little constipated system, and the 9 disappeared again. We had the 9 back through Hudson and BJ, and now it's gone.
When our midfield went from being creative to possession oriented, all of a sudden our 9 disappeared because we actually have a creative minded midfielder available to us in Tillman. I'm not saying he's the equivalent of Reina by any means.
He's not, but
he can still offer those offensive options that we don't see between the MMAs, if you will.
So on a level of artist, Tillman's an artist. I would put McKinney just below him as an artist as far as being able to find the open man or find that unique pass. Musa, that just ain't happening. Musa ain't making a through pass to anybody to score a goal. He is not finding the magical fucking ball to anybody to score. He's just not. It's just not what he does. He's an advance the ball guy. That's what he does. And after that,
get him further down the pitch so that he has room to move forward like that and distribute out.
So what's the point of having Musa in a more advanced midfield role when he's not going to really produce anything? Listen, I've been watching Musa play at Valencia and our team for a few years now. And that's just not his shtick. Maybe he'll get better at it at some point. Now that he's at Milan, we'll see. But scoring goals and making assists just ain't his bag. And so that's why at least he can advance the ball, which is why I would start McKennie and Adams as the 2 in the 4-2-3-1. And I would start, obviously, when healthy, Reyna as the 10. Or at this point, Tillman as the 10 currently. And just let it happen, Greg. Let it happen. Quit pretending Musa in a more advanced role is going to produce that final pass, that final magical pass, because it ain't happening. He doesn't do it. He's not the guy. He hasn't done it. Yeah. But, I mean, he loves himself some Musa.
I think at this point, Adams and Musa are the 2 competing for that
I agree.
Role.
I agree.
Because you can't even lump Luca De La Torre. He can play that role, but against a team that's going to apply a lot more pressure and move forward, I don't know if he's going to be able to play that role as well.
I think also if it's a more physical game, I don't think Luca De La Torre is your guy. Mm-hmm. Or let's say if we're playing a very physical opponent, a top physical opponent, let's say England, okay? I probably would start Adams and McKennie next to each other versus England because they're going to be physical, or pick a team that's really physical. But unless it's that, I'm going with Musa and McKennie as the 2 holding mids. But against a more physical team, I think Adams is a more physical player, and he's going to cover more ground, and he's going to cut off passes, and he'll take a bump or 2, and he'll throw his body in. Whereas Musa is less of a physical player. So if you need physicality in the midfield in front of the back 4, that's when you go with Adams. If you need more artistry, i.e. move the ball from the back third to the other team's third, and being able to advance the ball up the field and then make the simple pass, that's Musa. Because Adams, when he gets possession in our third, he does not advance the ball. He immediately looks for someone who will advance the ball. And that's usually McKennie or Musa, depending. So, or out wide with Weah or Pulisic. So, they're 2 different players. They're not the same player, but they can both play the same role. So we'll see how this works out. But I desperately, Gregg does not want to do that. Gregg wants to hold on to the 4-3-3 and play Musa, McKennie, and Adams together. He does. He desperately wants to do that.
Well, I mean, we saw Berhalter ball in perfection against Canada in Canada when we lost 2-0. We maintained possession and we lost, but we dominated the game.
No, we didn't. Yeah, as you well know.
Look at you saying that I'm being sarcastic, Derek?
You are. You're dripping with it. Yes. Like a bukkake whore. All right. Luca De La Torre is the better 8 than Musa. Again, I think against, let's say we play a physical team, then I think Musa is more physical player than Luca De La Torre. It's just my fucking opinion. Luca De La Torre is a smaller mammal of the 2 of them, and he's less built. And I think he does get pushed around sometimes. But I do like both of their value as far as being able to take the ball and advance it up the field and make a more advanced pass than Adams can. Adams will steal the ball. He's not going to advance it up the field very far. His first instinct is to look for the other guy who's going to advance it up the field. So it's a tricky. This is really tricky.
In youth soccer, especially in the 80s and 90s, he's the classic stopper. He's the guy that sits.
Destroyer,
breaks up, destroys the play, gets rid of the ball. That's all he's expected to do.
He's a destroyer and get the ball out of my feet as soon as possible.
Moving on up to the other midfielders / attackers,
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff Carlisle, one of our
bestest of friends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We don't have any animosity against Jeff, but his article did with the Berhalter Reyna thing.
Fluffing, right?
Well, the whole Berhalter Reyna thing and busting out the whole blackmail stuff, and then not having an article that really looked into his articles, the article that spawned 100 other articles about blackmail, right? And he never took any responsibility for it. Christian Pulisic gets the biggest cheer from the crowd during pregame introductions. Okay. Berhalter gets a smattering of boos. What do you expect? But I do like the fact that Jeff posted this, because this is Jeff basically just reporting on facts, but also saying, in a way, poke, poke. Remember, not everybody wants this guy, right? And him saying that by reporting a fact is kind of his way of getting away with poking at Gregg a little. Just, I got you a little there. See? I just poked you a little there.
You gotta watch out. Jeff Carlo might get placed under investigation by MLS, and then he has to submit a request to the commissioner to get back in.
Oh my God! All right, conspiracy theorist.
It is what it is, Derek. Come on.
All right, Brian Schroeder, our friend. I love it when we say Brian Schroeder, and they're like, "It's not pronounced Schroeder, it's Schiaretta." It's like, hey, fuckers, we had this dude on our show, and before the show started, yes, I asked him, hey, so it's Schroeder, right? He's like, yes, please pronounce my name Schroeder. So fuck off. Anybody's got a problem with me pronouncing the name the way Brian wants his name.
I mean, it's not like I'm pronouncing the name. Derek's actually the actual person himself.
Yes, yes. We've known Brian for a long time. He probably doesn't want people to know that, actually. This just in. Fullback Joe Scally has departed. Camp for family reasons. It's a stepsister. Oh, shit.
Well, as our good friend Frank posted earlier, he tagged us both. But he said, hey, the Reynas are family.
No. His stepsister's pregnant.
Are you saying that Joe's the father?
Didn't hear it here. It's a story of a lovely lady who was living in incest with her somebody. Anyhow. All right. So anyhow.
Hey, it's not incest from steps. We talked about
that's I know. I know. It's pseudo incest. It's just porn incest. All right.
So Joe Scally leaves. We bring in a left back. But wait a minute. We still have Jedi. And we still have Lund. Why are we bringing in a left back? We still have Yedlin. We still have Dest. There's one game left. Why are we bringing in a wing back?
Yedlin's
in general.
Yedlin's not on this roster.
Yes, he is.
No, he isn't. You're gonna be wrong. No. You're gonna be wrong.
Okay. Regardless.
So yeah, I mean, listen. We all know
next left back. Who's gonna play? Who's gonna play back up to Dest at that point?
Jedi and Dest are starting again. So there's no question. And I just think Scally got bored. And when we talk about when we talk about
it happens from time to time, guys. It is a rarity, but it happens.
So family reasons. Let's be really honest here. What does Scally refer to as his brothers? His balls.
Oh, I was gonna say Gio.
He refers to his nutsack as his little brothers. So something's wrong with his little brothers. It's not just a stepsister situation being pregnant. So all kinds of issues going on there for Joe Scally. He needs to clean that up. And I'm sure we'll see him again soon.
We're talking about his balls, and that's definitely something we should concern ourselves with. Clean them up, Joe. Come on.
His balls and his stepsister. Hey, no offense. By the way, Joe, if you ever watched this show, which I've heard you might have, we're just joking. We're busting your balls. All right. We're just kidding around. We're not,
Apparently one needs to be washed too. So
we love you. Yes. Wash those balls and your stepsister's crotch. It'll be okay. All right. Men in Blazers. I don't like these guys anymore. We'll see what they say. You probably saw on camera a few times. I was pretty frustrated. We can't just stroll up to games and expect to win. If we really want to get to where we want to go, we need to have better nights than we had tonight. That's for fucking sure. Matt Turner on the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely the conversation that a lot of people just watch the game and they said, hey, the U.S. men's national team were out there on vacation.
Nah, I don't think that's it. I saw effort. I saw a lot of movement off the ball, too. What I didn't see was like a real plan. And what I saw over and over again was the same plan, like overloading a wing. So at one point, this is crazy.
How can there be no plan, but then the same plan? Maybe it's the same plan. It was just a bad plan.
At one point in the game, listen.
I'll listen.
On the left wing, we had Jedi, Pulisic,
yeah.
Weah.
Yeah, there was one time that happened.
Yes, and who else? There was two other players. So like even Gregg talked about after game, we need to overload certain. Okay, well that was a massive overload, and guess what it amounted to? Nothing, because you can't stand 4 feet from each other. Overload doesn't always work when there's not enough space to exploit having that many guys in one goddamn 10 by 10 yard section. That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't exploit space. It creates a clusterfuck. And that's what you see a lot. You see a clusterfuck on the left wing and on the right wing as we start to ticky-tack around on those wings. Then you saw the ball would come to the middle, and Pulisic, when he would get it on the left side, he would cut in, and he would over-dribble because everybody knew he was going to cut in. So there were two guys waiting for him, and he tried to dribble through the two guys. And then he'd lose the fucking ball. And then that happened at least twice, at least 3 times.
At least, yeah.
Yes. It's like, dude, do you not understand that they're perfectly ready for you to cut to the inside? And they're going to be waiting for you. You're not going to be dribbling through those two guys and then the center back behind them. That ain't happening. And yeah, that happened a few times. So that's our supposed inside movement. That's not wing play. That's wing play moving to Pulisic, who's on the wing, who cuts inside. Well, where was the inside runs for Pulisic to make that pass to? Well, there weren't any. Everybody was jammed inside the fucking box. And then we just didn't have anybody willing to take an outside shot either in that game. It goes back to something
there are definitely a couple of people that tried to. Luka De La Torre had one that was outside the box. Aronson had a shot outside the box.
That was way later, though. Yeah.
It was way, way, way later. I agree.
Yeah.
But like we said, Musa pulled up instead of shooting. He passed it off to Pulisic, who then, laid across a low cross across the box. That was a lot of crosses, by the way. But there was definitely not a bad play.
Right.
And I was having this debate with Sean on Twitter. And I was like, hey, hindsight's always 20/20. It kind of worked out, but didn't cultivate into anything. But as a player on the pitch, my first instinct outside the box with nobody around me would be to rip a shot.
Yeah.
And then if somebody takes away my shot, blocks it, I would look to make that pass to Pulisic. But my first instinct at that point would be rip a shot.
Yeah. A lot of people in the old days would have had that instinct.
Yeah.
But now we want to dribble the fucking ball into the goal, which Dest almost did it. Dest almost did it at one point.
Yeah.
He almost dribbled the fucker right into the goal. But,
yeah. We can only score if we cross it across the 6, Derek. That's how it works.
Well, and I'll say this. That pass by the early pass by Jedi that went right across the line.
Yep. Balogun didn't commit to it.
Where the fuck is Balogun there?
Yep. He was there. He was there. Literally a slide away.
Yeah.
If he would have committed to a possible cross there, I think the cross came and he was like, oh, shit, he actually made that cross. But if he would have committed to it, it would have been a goal.
And then he said, oh, shit, it got by the guy just in front of me. And you're right. Had he committed to it, that's a tap in. And Weah on the far post was way late arriving at the far post for that. Way late. I mean, everybody knows when Jedi lines up to make a cross. It's so fucking obvious because he makes this sort of gesture every time. It's a very distinct gesture he makes when he's about to cross the ball. He looks up, he looks down.
He does a dip, and he cuts to the in line, and then he crosses it across. It's the same.
Yeah, it's like a dip and a hip swivel, and you know it's coming. Like, where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are? That was like one of the best crosses of the day, and you couldn't get on the end of it. Well, that's on you, Flo. You got to be there for that. Yeah. That's as good as it gets.
That's taking away the cross that Pulisic played into McKinney, who McKinney had to do some like
juggling,
ballerina juggling, you know, whoop, 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 and then lay a nice little ball off to Weah, who slotted that home. It was a beautiful play, and McKinney definitely gets credit for that shit. That was a phenomenal hold-up play.
And then Pulisic never hit another cross almost all night long like that.
Well, Derek, you won't believe who almost made man of the match. It was Pulisic.
Well, then people are fucking drinking.
An 8.2 match rating, Derek. 8.2.
This is some Boris Yeltsin shit here. You're drinking way too much, and you need to stop.
Everybody's sitting there going like, "Tell me you didn't watch the match without telling me you didn't watch the match." Like, seriously.
It was one of the worst performances of Pulisic's career as a United States.
It was very frustrating to watch. And then you start seeing the stats pop up, and then all of a sudden he gets an 8.2. Only Jedi beat him out on this all on Foot Mob, of course.
Who? This is a Foot Mob rating?
Yeah, this is Foot Mob rating. And only Jedi beat him in the ratings at 8.3. Only Jedi.
That's stupid.
Neither of which would have made my top 3.
Okay, let me put it this way. My mom watched the match.
Yeah.
So did my dad. We talked about it this weekend when I went and played golf with my mom. My mom, one of the first questions she asked me, and this is a layperson, like this is not someone who understands all the strategies of the game or the way it works tactically. She said, "How come we look so bad again?" That was the first thing she said. How come we look so bad again? Yeah. Well, I tried to explain it to her. I'm not sure she 100% got it because she doesn't know what a 6 from an 8 is to save her life, right? I'm trying with my fingers. I'm like, yeah, this one goes here, but then in this, it's 4, 2, 3. And my dad, when I explained it to him, because he asked me, how come Pulisic was so fucking off? What's wrong? So I explained to him, the system we played, and that's Gregg's system. The guys before him were playing it. Man, he's just like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're speaking a foreign language to me, buddy.
Yeah, he does. He's like, I get what you're saying, but I don't really understand it. But I trust that you're right. Okay.
So yeah, let's quickly take a look at these Foot Mob ratings. First off, Pulisic's on the right wing, which comical.
Well, he moved over there.
Yeah.
No, he did move over there.
For a short period of time.
No, they flip-flopped.
For a short period of time.
In the first half, they flip-flopped. Did that go on? I don't remember.
A short period of time.
Did it happen?
90% of the game, Pulisic was on the left.
So in the second half, he flip-flopped back over to his normal position.
There was a very short period of time. I'm sure it happened after a corner kick when he was on the right wing.
No, that wasn't that short of a time. That went on for 20 minutes of the first half. Yes. Check it out, dude. Watch the game.
I'll run the times. I'll come back there. Derek, you're full 20 minutes. It may have felt like 20 minutes to you, Derek, but it was actually.
No, I rewatched the game and you haven't had a chance to.
I'm saying it felt like 20 minutes, but it was actually 4 minutes.
No. I think you're gonna get it from the comments again. All right, so
I'm still waiting.
So they have Pulisic on the right, and that's fine. I don't really matter. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't.
Either way, him getting an 8.2 is just bullshit.
Yeah,
that's
shit.
Total squadoosh bullshit. That was at best out of 10. Pulisic gets a 4 or a 3. It's one of the worst games he's ever played for the United States men's national team. His amount of turnovers were obscene. The amount of times he over dribbled. Obscene. He scored a fucking penalty kick.
I mean, he scored a penalty kick and he had the hockey assist on the first goal.
The first goal, he gets
legitimately it, pretty much. He had a cross here and there, but I mean that's very few and far between. All of his set pieces were garbage. We're back to classic Berhalter and Pulisic when it comes to set pieces. How come when he was under Hudson and BJ, his set pieces were much better? I don't understand it.
Mostly because when Reyna was in, he didn't take them. That's why.
Fair too. That's fair too.
Yeah. So Reyna took all the set pieces for the most part when he was there, but Pulisic shouldn't be taking set pieces. He's goddamn atrocious at them. And we've said this many times on this show. And listen, the fucking fuckers who run the team can go ahead and continue to ignore us. But fuck, I'd rather have Aronson taking corners than goddamn fucking Pulisic.
Yes.
Because Pulisic's corners are goddamn broken. They're broken. He's a broken crosser of the ball from the corner kick area. I don't know why, but he's horrible at them. They never get past the first guy. And the one that did get past the first guy was way too far over and all the way to the other side of the field. So he's just bad at it. He's just bad at it. So all these rankings are absolutely stupid, by the way. They're all dumb. Who the hell? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Luca De La Torre, 7.1. That sounds right. McKennie at an 8. Nah, I don't think
They're
so.
very favorable towards certain players. McKinney had a number of blunders throughout the match. I mean, I think he played well enough, but I think he definitely had his fair share of fuck ups.
I'd still only give him a 7
at best. Yeah,
by our standards, that was a 7. Luca De La Torre, give a 7, but he only played 20 minutes. Musa for me was a 6. Robinson,
he definitely wasn't better than Luca. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Who'd we skip up front? Pulisic was like I said, like a 4. I mean, if his average is a 6, if average for Pulisic is a 6 and exceptional is an 8, or good is a 7 and better is an 8 and top of the line is a 9, well, that's a 4. That's just a bad game.
I feel like when it comes to Pulisic, people still have rose tinted glass, similar to like when Donovan was playing, and they're always going back to, oh, Donovan, number 1 player, blah blah. And yes, he's up there. I'm not arguing that point, but I will say there were a number of games consistently, like off and on, where Donovan would ghost completely.
I think he got called out for that, though.
He might show up randomly to score a goal or get an assist. But 90 minutes of the game, there are games where he would just simply ghost.
There was certainly a World Cup in particular that he ghosted, and he even came back and talked about it and said, "Yeah, that was my worst World Cup."
Had to be 2006 at that point.
Yes.
02 and 10 were good.
Yeah,
and he was not included in 14.
Oh, I know. Weah, again, some good stuff. I'd certainly give him like a 7 or a 6, 7. Somewhere around there.
At least 7.5. I mean, when you start saying stuff like 7.9, what the fuck are you? I guess this is the number of people who are giving them scores and they're averaging them out.
I guess.
Because how in the world do you say 7.9?
Foot mob's just notorious. It's notoriously horrible.
And when I did it on mine, it was all zeros or 5s. There were no like, he's a 7.1. Because what's the fucking difference between a 7.1 and a 7.0? Nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you're averaging a bunch of scores together, and then you got that 7.1.
Somebody's giving a bunch of 10s then. Balogun, I think 6 is fine. I mean, he didn't get much opportunity. I can't blame it all on him. But he did miss.
System fucked him. He did hit the post at once. He didn't commit on Jedi, as we talked about.
Yeah.
There were chances he could have scored, but it is
all right.
What it is.
I'm giving him
system fucked him.
I'm giving him 5 then because he missed the header and that should have been a goal. And then he missed the cross.
I would say it was 5.5, one of those two.
All right. McKennie doesn't get an 8, like I said, a 7 for me. Luca De La Torre is fine at a 7. Musa, I said 6. I think that's not very good by him. Dest, I think a 7 seems low there. I think 7.5 maybe a little
he's
higher.
7.9 is what he's at.
Oh, then that's about fine. I'd say 7.5.
7.5 or higher. I mean, Dest was one of my highest raters outside of Turner. Turner was my highest.
But giving Richards and Ream anywhere near a 7 is a joke. They both played poorly. They're both 6s or 5s, especially Ream.
I gave Ream a 4.5. There were a couple of plays. He didn't commit to the ball. Like there were a couple of times in and around the box he didn't actually go up and pressure, and they had a chance. And there were just a couple of other things that happened. That was like, dude, this is his worst performance that I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, it was the worst Ream performance we have seen in ages. And even
I gave him a 4.5. It was worse than average.
Count Fulham games. This was, I mean, the fucking shit he gave up. That's why he used to lose his job at Fulham back in the day and end up sitting the bench when they went to the Premier League. Well, he stopped. He cut that garbage out of his game. Well, he brought it back for us in that last game.
Hey, but Berhalter had nothing but nice things to say about him in his leadership.
Well, fuck, dude. Berhalter said Tessman had a good game. Fuck him. What an idiot. Tessman had a pretty irresponsible game. Robinson, I'm not giving him an 8, but I'll give him like a 7.5. Turner
he's definitely less than Jedi. Jedi was less than Dest in my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, Jedi made some good passes. Dest almost dribbled it into the goal. There's that.
I think overall Dest played better. But I think also the Dest and Weah and even McKinney combination, I think it works better than the Musa, Jedi, and Pulisic combination. Or take Moose out of the equation, insert anybody else. But I think those three do not work well together. They don't have quite the same.
Who again?
The Jedi, Pulisic, and insert random midfielder here. Because I think Des, McKinney, and Weah have a huge quality as far as chemistry is concerned.
Oh, I agree. I'd rather see Weah and McKinney play on the same side. I don't know why he flip-flopped that around, but you notice when they flip-flopped it around, they also flip-flopped McKinney and Musa. So McKinney and Weah ended up being on the other side, and then Musa was flipped to the other side with Pulisic. So, I mean, they made the flop. They made the full flop. They didn't fuck around. As for Turner, I thought he had one of the best games out there. I would give him an 8 or a 9.
He came up massive on a couple of plays that were required of him to.
Right.
He made some standard saves, and he escorted some balls by the post.
Yeah.
Exactly what you want from the goalkeeper. He had my highest rating. I gave him an A as far as our ratings are concerned, which is the highest that I gave him.
Listen, escorting balls is very important in life. Yeah. So good for Turner. Of course, he's not going to be in the next game. He got on a plane to head back to England where his wife is pregnant and about to give birth to a baby dolphin.
Well, baby dolphin. Congratulations to Turner at Sense, and then props to either. I'm guessing who do you think is going to start, Horvath or Calendar?
It's probably going to be Calendar. It might be Horvath. I don't know. Flip a coin on that fucker.
Yeah,
Horvath. I mean. I don't know. Luton, Calendar's hot. He's been hot for a while for Miami. I think Gregg might give him a shot to boost his. What if
Berhalter doesn't swing that way, Derek?
Well, it's not so much. Gregg is unisexual. He will fuck anything, but as long as it likes him and agrees with him. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably be Horvath now that I think about it. But you know what? You can't put past Gregg is giving the MLS guy a chance to make a name for himself. And then
everybody's saying Gregg is saying Horvath.
And getting eyeballs from Europe. So
maybe at halftime. But Gregg apparently said Horvath.
Okay, good. It's solved then. We don't even have to discuss it.
Yep. Gregg had another presser that came out literally like 3 hours before our show started. So I didn't get to watch that one.
So there's no point in covering the interview now because we've covered every single aspect of the interview. Every single one. Like there isn't a topic we haven't discussed that came up in the interview with Gregg. The only thing I want you to play is at 5:25.
Oh, you motherfucker. I just hit X on that because you're like, oh, we don't need to do that. So I literally just closed it out.
Yeah, premature deletion.
I'm blaming you. You're the one. You. All right, hold on. U.S. soccer.
There's only one part I want to play, because I think it's important. Because I told you about this when I texted you, and I said this is very odd. Outside of Berhalter saying Tessman did a good job, and I quote, because Tessman did not.
I guess real quick before we play this, talking about the subs, because we talked about most players on the pitch. I think the game obviously changed once Tillman and Aronson came in.
Yes.
Pepe, I think, did his shtick.
He
for
should
most
start
of the second half. He should start over Balogun at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it could come down to an understanding of the system, or then just what Pepe brings to the equation is just more what Berhalter is expecting from the 9.
Oh God,
Which
I don't want to.
Why I think Sargent started in the World Cup, because he's Berhalter's ideal 9.
I think it's also, as you said, the familiarity with the Gregg system. But let's keep in mind that when Tillman came in, he played a more advanced role. He played more of a 10, and that did help near the very end the ball to connect with actually Pepe and Aronson and the forwards. Mm-hmm. So that made a huge difference. It just did. And so we'll see what happens going forward.
Tillman starts against Oman, and let's just say we have a more convincing win, because despite the fact that the thumbnail asking if this was a convincing win against Uzbekistan, I don't think it was.
No, I mean, as I told you today, that's almost a dirty question. It made me feel dirty when I read it, because I'm like, of course the answer is no. That was not like, that was like somebody asking you, so you went to Las Vegas and you went to a whorehouse. How'd that go? And you ended up having like the toothless, fucking smelliest goddamn whore in the whorehouse.
She was the only one available at the time.
Yeah, and you're like, they're like, how'd it go? And you're like, not that great. But actually, it was worse than not that great. It was worse than not that great. It was stinky, smelly, fishy, anchovy-esque. You know what I mean? Anchovy-esque. It wasn't good. All right. So, yeah, you wanted to leave. You were hoping it would end soon.
Mm-hmm.
You were having a hard time getting hard on. You had to take several pills to make that happen.
The phrase from Ben Affleck's phrase in Good Will Hunting, when he's like, at the very beginning, he's talking to Chicky Nose. He's like, hey, why didn't you give me that hoochie woochie? You normally try to sling my way. And she goes the whole I think I'm going to spread my legs for that Tootsie Roll dick.
Ooh.
And he goes, what? She's missing a tooth.
Teeth are important.
John says, Brett, look at your history. It'll give you the same tab. I don't think I should be sharing my history at all.
That's on you. I mean, listen, there's some things you got to keep to yourself, especially you and EB's dedication to pegging. All right, here we go. You want to go to...
I don't need anybody finding our videos online, because I do wear a mask.
Yes, you do. Exactly. 5:25. And I swear to God, just listen to this.
It's a short press, or 10 minutes, really?
Can you turn it up? It's muted. Yeah, it's muted. Here we go.
For Telemundo San Luis, just a couple of questions he might ask.
There you go. Just a quick couple questions in my ass. Replay that. Just a couple questions in my ass.
In the back.
Greg over here. Adam Manzano for Telemundo San Luis. Just a couple of questions he might ask.
There you go.
First of all,
he's got a couple questions in his ass that he needs to ask.
I feel like this is a segment of Lost in Translation.
No, this guy knows how to speak English.
He meant to say, I get a
couple questions,
a figurative sack here of questions I want to ask you, but he says
no. I think what he meant to say is I have a couple questions I might ask. but it comes out. I have a couple questions in my ass. Play it one more time.
Adán Manzano for Telemundo San Luis. Just a couple of questions he might ask.
Yes, come on. He just say it. He says, I got a couple questions in my ass. You know he says it, Brett. Admit it.
No, I think he's trying to explain that he's got a sack of questions he want to ask.
No, that's not what he says. I got a couple questions in my ass.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't really ask anything that stinky or smelly. That's the weirdest thing. They're
that'd be funny if it was really kind of a stick it to you, Berhalter kind of.
Yes.
Hey, why don't we talk about Brooks ever? I mean, seriously.
Bam.
Berhalter gives you that stinky. I just smell the fart. Look at.
Yes, he's already got that look anyhow. He's already got that look, like he's already sniffed a fart.
First of all, how it felt for you personally to be back in the bench leading the team, and about Ricardo Pepi, he scored a goal in the last few minutes. How different do you see him from the last before the World Cup, and how do you think has been his improvement with this process in Europe now?
Yeah.
All right. Before Berhalter responds, about an hour ago, my wife had texted me and she says, "Hey, make me a martini, twat."
She said twat, right?
She said twat.
Yeah.
And I said, "LO, going on show, but yeah." And she goes, "I figured." And then she just texts me again and says, "Drinks, bitch."
All right. So we got to close this up before you get the unwanted.
You always want to make them wanting more. So let's continue. Okay. What do you think he's gonna say here?
Let's see, you know what he's gonna say.
Let's see. Pepi was phenomenal for us last cycle, but I said fuck you to him, and then now we're calling him back up, and he's doing well. He's pretty high.
No, he's just gonna say that Pepi looks a lot more confident than he did last time. He's not gonna give any reason that might doubt his decision prior for leaving Pepi off.
He's looking a lot better now than he did when I didn't call him up.
Correct. He looks much more confident.
Yeah.
And so that answers the first question that came out of your ass. And let me answer the second one. But anyhow, we don't need to play this because
he doesn't. But the thing is, he doesn't answer the second one. They've got to come back and say, "Oh, what about this one?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's right."
That's straight garbage, dude.
It's
I mean, those,
you sneaky son of a bitch.
Those weren't turd questions or questions from his ass at all. Those came straight from
his ass, apparently.
No, because those would be stinkier. These were more from a little fluffed box full of good smelling shit that he just pulled out. He's like, "Oh, look, I got this fragrant flower. Let me give you that easy one, and then take this easy fragrant one too. Because you'll answer these, you'll hit them out of the park."
Do you think Berhalter had a bit of a stink face? You know, having left Pepi off the World Cup roster for Ferreira, and then or Haji or whoever, and then his first call up under Berhalter, he scores a goal. Do you think he goes?
You know what a better stinky question would be about Pepi? Hey, listen, I understand when you told Pepi he didn't make the team, he was very hurt by it, and that he might have even hung up on you. How is your relationship now, and how have you bridged that gap, and how are you going to move forward? I would have liked to hear the answer to that question. That would have been a question.
And when are you calling Gio Reyna?
Well, yeah, exactly. That no one mentioned that. Nobody mentioned Brooks. Listen, there's something wrong right now. No, not right now. There's something wrong inherently and has been for some time with the press. You know, there was the guy, I just posted his article up and stuff. I can't remember what his name was, but I do know that he looked me up and he's like, "Oh, you used to write for Big Soccer." But so he knew I was a journalist. So he's like an ex-journalist. So he's like, "Oh, okay, this guy. I mean, I'm going to like what he said because, you know, he knows what I'm talking." Because my post, I said, "Here's the guy who doesn't care about his future access to U.S. soccer."
I remember you posted that, but I didn't realize he responded to you.
Yeah, in person, but also he liked it as well. He liked the post. So, you know, there are guys out there who are not afraid to lose their access because they never had any to begin with. And that was this guy. So he doesn't care. So he's going to say that was a below average, very below average return for Berhalter. It just looked like we took steps backwards. And we did take steps backwards.
100%.
Yeah, that was a de-evolution.
Played completely different, less inspired, and it was noticeable.
Right.
Palpable, if you will.
Now, hopefully what happens here next is Gregg learned something. Now, I wouldn't depend on Gregg learning anything.
He's playing Tillman for the next game, so maybe he did learn something.
If he does play Tillman as a more attacking center midfielder, he may have learned something. And if that's the case, we'll give him credit for learning. But at this point, it's kind of like saying a slow clap.
Yeah.
Wow. Took you a while,
Brava.
but you got there, buddy. You know, you came on you're kind of like the slower kind of learner, but we're going to clap for you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but 3G never thinks he's wrong, so don't hold your breath. I agree, David D. We don't ever hold our breath for Gregg ever around here, or else we would have been dead a long time ago, about 5 years ago. Brett and I would have passed away from holding our breath. So we'll see what happens. We'll hopefully see a less constipating system, and we'll see some freedom. All right, I think we're done with the show.
Derek, what's that over your right shoulder?
The straight red card. Transfer news. Everybody loves that transfer news, but me, you fucker. You snuck this shit in. What do we got?
I totally did.
Former U.S. men's national team head coach Bob Bradley has been announced as the new head coach of Norwegian club Steinbach. Yesterday. Well, he's been around those parts before.
He's back.
So good for him. He might end up in Egypt again. They loved him out there. Who knows?
More about the second segment. Video below talks about how things. He mentioned this a couple years back about how things should change in MLS, and one of those things being promotion and relegation.
We all are for promotion and relegation. It's just how realistic is it?
And that's what he talked about. He's like, hey, LAFC forked over X amount of bajillions of dollars, and it's not going to be easy to say, hey, it's promotion and relegation now. So maybe it's 2 years from now, maybe it's 4 years from now, maybe it's 25 years from now.
You'll have to fix that problem first.
Yeah, you got to stop saying, hey, these new teams coming into the franchises aren't going to be paying $500 million just to get in, and then we're going to start doing promotion and relegation.
It's at 6 now.
God damn.
And then I hear 8 as well for San Diego. So anyhow, yeah, it's getting ridiculous. And if you're going to pay almost $1 billion to get in the league, then of course you're not expecting that you'll have to face relegation.
I think there's some people willing to pay near $1 billion just to get in the league. Indicates that there's zero indication of ever going to promotion relegation.
No, there's not going to happen. It's just not, guys. Listen, we'd love it if it did, but I have a lot of close connections in USL, and they don't even want it there. All right, and that's a less bigger investment for a lot of clubs, but not all of them. Some of them have made big time investments, and the ones that have in USL don't want to be relegated to League One. All right, because that sucks. So for them, it does financially. It sucks. How do you fix this? Well, you had to fix it at the beginning. You had to fix it at the beginning. It's broken because it's a single entity system in MLS. You had to fix that at the start, but they were so worried about the Cosmos shit happening again. They didn't want to recreate that problem. So now we've got what's called a super conservative, slow corporate build, a monopoly. There you go.
So what level of financial concern is there within USL for promotion relegation? Because, I mean, as far as TV rights are concerned, there are really no TV rights except for local rights.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're in USL 1 or USL Pro or whatever the fuck. Imagine at that point, there's little negotiating power regardless.
The big commitment in USL is the stadium commitment.
Sure.
And
that would be the biggest issue, especially with people being promoted into USL Pro.
And if you're spending almost $180 million on a brand new stadium and facility in downtown Indianapolis,
here's an idea. Don't suck. Don't be one of the bottom 3 garbage chips.
I don't think they're worried about that, but they don't even like the possibility of it.
Yeah, I understand.
Because all you need is one bad season, right?
Yeah.
One bad season, and you're down. So,
you go to USL 1 and you just dominate for a year and you come back up.
I get it, but we set up a lose-lose situation here by having the original investors pay into the league at a good chunk fee. And then you're going to have teams in League One who haven't paid that chunk be able to overtake you, having spent 1/10 of what you spent in the lower league to start your team in the lower leagues. The pay-in for League One is 1/10 of what it costs to get into USL. It's just not, to them, and obviously to anybody doing the math, that's just not mathematically fair. Otherwise, Indianapolis should have started in League Two, where it's 1/20th of the entry fee, and just built their way up. Would have been better.
Give yourself a buffer zone. Say, hey, 10 years from now, we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, you have to build in the whole thing that they have in England, which is the supplementary payments after you go down from your experience there's all kinds of safety nets you need to build. Or you could just do what Mexico does and just say, fuck it, no more. No more. I guess they're going to go back to it, but it's going to be really hard for any traditional team, as it always has been in Argentina and Brazil and Mexico, for any traditional team, because it's based off of multiple seasons in a row. You have to be bad. If let's say you're Lanús, which is a classic team, it's going to take you multiple years of being shitty to get. Even if you finish last, you got to do it a couple times to get relegated, because it's based on multiple years of performances, not 1 year. So you could do that too. Anyhow, I think we are done here, Brett.
We're skipping the last transfer news. Do you need me to put the logo again? Transfer news. No.
Transfer news. Hugo Perez is no longer coaching El Salvador. I hope U.S. Soccer gets him involved. He won't, and you know that, Tack, so okay. He did a great job with La Selecta, with the players and the resources given to him. Would have been a great U.S. men's national team head coach. Yes, he would have been candidate. Too bad he wasn't available during the summer. Not that it would have mattered anyway. Correcto, Mendo. They consider at U.S. Soccer, Hugo Perez is considered a fucking fossil. A fossil. Not even a living, breathing human being coach.
Yeah, they're like Hugo, you don't even play boring soccer. Why would we include you in our coaching search?
He's considered out of the picture.
Yeah.
Done. He is the John Brooks of coaches for U.S. Soccer. He is done. Goose is cooked. I hate saying that. All right. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma. Go in the link below and buy some fucking gear, dude. There's some badass gear there. There's mugs. There's cock rings. There's this shirt.
Do we have the Beavis and Butthead with us on?
Yes. We have the Beavis and Butthead version as well.
This version right here, or the
not
original?
that version, but the original version without the KY and Vaseline hats. But I'll work on that. We'll see if we can get that up there too.
Yeah, I feel like we can lube up a couple people to buy it.
Bing bing. Okay. So hey, I want to wish Joe Scally the best out there. I hope his testicles heal, and I hope his stepsister has the best of births, and they can all, move along as a family together. Joe, we're just kidding, dude. We're just busting your balls. It's okay. We're just joking. And I know Pulisic doesn't like the whole that he's a virgin thing, and that's a joke too, guys. I don't really know if he's a virgin.
Hopefully, he gets him some fire under his
nutsack,
cockles, if you will.
Cockles, his plums.
His plums. Yeah, hopefully he gets a fire under his plums and he starts playing better than he did against fucking Uzbekistan.
I think the problem is he's got a fire underneath his plums. He needs to chill out. He needs to chill out and just breathe with the game a little instead of just saying, I got to take it over. He doesn't need to do that anymore. I think he needs to take what's available, but if it's not, don't force shit. And he kind of got back to forcing stuff last game. So he needs to take a.
He ended the last cycle where he wasn't doing it as much, and he was much more successful.
Yeah. So in this case, he might need to tuck his nutsack up his asshole and just take a chill pill. Maybe smoke a joint before the game. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know what the drug testing policy is, but I think it would help him. I think smoking a joint would help many of the players on this team, actually, as it did to me tonight for this very show. All right. I love you guys. Brett loves you guys.
Rico Pope says, hit that like button for fuck's sake.
Yeah, good call. Brett likes you in a little different way than I do. He was willing to drive to your house if necessary. If you pull up that $99, he's driving all the way there. Mouth wide open. All right.
Yeah, the entire route, too.
Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, thank you for showing up. We'll be back on Thursday.
She's a trap, she's an unsung novel, turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line, or a phone call with or without wine.
That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm
articulate and intelligent.
Gregg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that.